now is the turn of Véronique Paris, Intersoft Luxembourg, but Véronique assisted many institutions of European institutions. So the topic is concerning ICANN for EU. Véronique, can you take the floor and share your screen?
Yes, of course. Okay. Do you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the purpose of my presentation is to introduce ICANN for EU. That is the structured format being developed by the European institutions for the exchange of legal documents in the context of the European Union decision-making process. So my presentation is 4 parts. First, the context of the initiative. Secondly, the approach followed and the general principles that are defined at the start of the project. Then the current results, and finally, the next step. So first, the context of this initiative. The European Union lawmaking process is a very complex interinstitutional workflow with a lot of documents, each with multiple variants, linguistic variant, because we have 24 languages in Europe, and that are all legally binding. Here you have the workflow of the most important one, that is called the ordinary legislative procedure. According to this procedure, there are 3 institutions that are involved in order to provide an European legislation. You have the European Commission, the Council of European Union, and the European Parliament. And up to 3 readings can be initiated. I will not enter in the detail of this workflow here because I don't think it's the subject. So during years, these documents were produced in traditional word processing, Word, with a flat structure, which implied lack of automation and lack of reusability. As the quality of the electronic document is based only on the layout, it was difficult to implement validation process and automatic quality control. So the system was inefficient, based on extensive use of macro, with all the difficulty in the maintenance. This offered limited tools for the drafting, the management of the review, the linguistic alignment, the consolidation, and so on. So it's clear that the flatness of the document is the problem. The electronic documents must be structured, and its structure must be machine readable to be able to build new tools on this structure. So first answer to this weakness, there are initiatives at the level of each institution. Initiatives that use the same schema that is Akomantoso, but that are developed completely independently. They are first initiative by the European Parliament, and you have the previous conference that illustrate what is done currently. And the next conference will present the development at the European Commission, mainly the editor tool for drafting the proposal for an act. So these applications were developed in a totally independent way. So they lead to variation in the use of Akomantoso. You have here a small example of the difference. because the way to specify the document depends on the vision the user has on the structure of the document. So different structural principles exist that leads in different Akomantozo markup for the same document. So you have here a first example with a simple article composed of only one block. You can market it in Akomantozo as an article with a content, or you can mark it as an article with a paragraph if you consider that any article must be composed only by paragraph. The second point is an example in the annex where you have a named division. If there is no naming convention to point to reference this kind of structure, you can have two different people that use completely different naming convention to point to this structure. So independent specification on documents that are exchanged between institutions add an unnecessary problem of interoperability. And it is why the European institutions have decided to centralize the specification of the markup in Akomantozo, and it is why AKN4EU was initiated. So I will not present the approach in AKN4EU. First, at the organizational point of view, it was decided to group inside one interinstitutional committee called IMFC for Interinstitutional Metadata and Format Committee, the work that are linked to the management of the metadata for the interinstitutional transmission, it's called IMNC, and the development of AKN4EU. For the markup of the document. The publication office acts as a facilitator, so it chairs the meeting, provides the minutes, develop and maintain the documentation, and provide the framework environment to manage the outcome of this committee. So one important point is to assure that the electronic structure defined is as much as possible aligned to the business way to structure. And so to be sure to capture correctly this information, the AKN4EU group is composed of two teams, and the definition of the specification is done in two steps accordingly. So you have first the common vocabulary. It is the subgroup that develops the business view of the text, common to all institutions. The committee is composed of representatives from the three institutions, plus the publication office. And they set up a collection of semantic and structural concepts called common vocabulary that represent the business view of the legal document. They provide also instance of existing document with the business concept that is clearly identified. The second subgroup is the AKN4EU coordination subgroup. It brings together the technicians of the different institutions, and it transforms the definition of the common vocabulary into Akomantozo structure. So for each concept, they define what is the representation in Akomantozo, and the representation take, of course, into account the technical needs in the definition of the format. And finally, they provide an AKN4EU specification and the AKN4EU instance of the document that are studied by the common vocabulary. So you have here after the link to the place, so the web page where the last version of AKN4EU is published, because it's published in the EU vocabulary website that is managed by the publication office. So you have here a small example to illustrate the two steps of work. On the left, you have the concepts that are defined by the common vocabulary, and on the right, you have the markup that is provided by AKN4EU. So you see that for some of the concepts, you have a direct translation. For other concepts, like title of act, you need to make a special structure inside Akamai. And also for some of the concept, you use a generic term and put the concept into the name attribute. So this is an example of a simple European Union Act. Another important point is that the common vocabulary uses the logic of the legislator. So there is a good correspondence with the legal reference, and this is something very important. Here you have an example of an amending act, so an act that amends another act, and it illustrates the problem because you have a point that is relatively complex, composed of 3 different subparagraphs, and the amending act wants to modify, for example, the 3rd subparagraph. And you need that some of this subparagraph is in fact composed of multiple blocks and is in the mean of the legislator considered like one subparagraph. It's important that the AKN4EU structure maps the reference system and map the structure that is defined by the business. In addition to the methodology, the AKN4EU specification is based also on 2 general principles. The first principle is the systematic use of the authority table that are defined interinstitutionally. So the authority table is published on the EU Vocabularies website, managed by the Publication Office. You have here the URI allowing to go to this list of tables. And the authority tables harmonize and standardize the code and the associate label for a lot of different vocabularies. So the use of authority tables guarantees that the build of AKN4EU will not create yet another vocabularies, but that we reuse what is already well defined and agreed by institutions. You have here on the left the most important authority tables that are used inside AKN4EU. Resource type for the definition of the type of the document, subdivision for the business way to structure an act, corporate body for all the organization, role for the role, place for the location, and languages also. Here you have a small example of the use of the authority table. On the right, you have the content of 1 and 3 of the authority table resource type, so for the definition of the document type. And you see that inside the markup, we use the code that is defined in the authority table to identify the type of the document in Akamai. The second principle is the use of ELI URI for referencing. So we use both the document naming convention and the subdivision naming convention. The one important thing is that the subdivision naming convention inside ELI is based on the authority table subdivision, and so use the business way to reference to build the URI. And it is why it is important that the structure of the AKN4EU will be mapped to the way the business structure the document. So what are the current results? First, the definition of an AKN4EU content model strongly aligned to the business content model, and it defined all the structure available in AKN4EU for any type of document. All the structure are split into three main levels. The core structure is define the structure that can be used, the minimal structure that can be used by documents. The core structure can be simple, so have only one content element, or it can be composed of structure of the low-level structure. And finally, core structure can be grouped into high-level structure. And for the high-level structure, we have two different types: named structure, like title, part, chapter, section, and so on, and unnamed division that is marked in AKN4EU by subdivision. So in green, you have the business way to name the structure, and in yellow, you have the AKN4EU structure that is defined for the element used and the structure. So on this base, you are now able to you have no toolbox that allow you to define the structure of any type of document. So here, for example, for the act or the bill, so for the European Union Legislative Act, you have the following structure that is defined. High-level structure, you can only use named structure, so title, part, chapter, section. Basic structure is always article, and low-level structure, you have subparagraph and list. If you see now the part that is the annex of an act, so it's marked as a doc name equal annex, you have a high-level structure, named and unnamed structure. As basic structure, you have paragraph and level, and for the low-level structure, you have also subparagraph and list. So what is the current situation on the definition of AKN4EU? We have now published the AKN4EU 4.0 baseline. We call it baseline because it is a complete review of the standard, review for the documentation. For example, now we separate clearly what is the part that is regarding the general modeling and the guideline of AKN4EU, and we have a specific part for the document type. The third part is to make the correspondence with the common vocabulary terminology. On the reuse structure, we defined an overall approach to represent documents. So how to represent document, component, annex, how to represent the cover page and the metadata that is associated. We define specific metadata, for example, for identify the legislative procedure or the structure of document identifier. And we have a specific part for the amending act to explain how to mark an amending act and the metadata that is associated to an amending act. So metadata at the level of each amendment. And we have the standardized model content that we have seen, so with the high-level structure, the core structure, and the low-level structure. For the document type already covered, we have the European Union Legislative Act, so decision, directive, and regulation, international agreement, the proposal from the Commission, so the proposal for an act that initiates the legislative procedure, some documents of the Council, like the position, statement of the reasons, the note documents, and the Council conclusion. And we have also some case of the European Parliament adopted text. So all of this is published in the European, the EU vocabulary website. So if I click on the link, I can show you, clearly, quickly the structure. So you have a tab about documentation. So you see that you are on the latest version. If you want to see the previous version, you can also, they are also published. And on the documentation, I don't know, on the documentation type, you have the three parts as explained. So the guideline, the document type, and the correspondence with the COF, common vocabulary. So what are the next steps? Well, we have different AKN4EU. First, we develop common tools that will be shared by all the institutions. First of all, is a validation framework, so that will validate that an Akoman-Tozo document is conform to the AKN4EU specification. We also currently develop a converter to convert the legacy XML act, and this is for multiple purposes. First, to be sure that we take into account all the structure of the act, but secondly also to be used for existing tool. So, for example, to make action like cut and paste, but Akoman-Tozo cut and paste, AKN4EU cut and paste more precisely, to make amendment in the amending act, for example, so taking into consideration the amending act in AKN4EU. We are currently also developing inside the publication office a prototype for the consolidation of the legislation, so taking into account amending act and generate a consolidated version of the amended act. And we need also to develop a common style sheet or presentation tool to be sure that the same AKN4EU structure for some document type is present in the same way everywhere. With this structure, there are tools that end-user tools that can be defined, like EDIT, for example, developed by the European Commission, or Trilog table editor that is developed by the European Parliament and the Council. We prepare a new release that will take into account new document type. So the presentation of the amendment of the Parliament and the European Parliament consolidated text in AKN4EU, provide the specification for the consolidated version of the Act, and also treat the preparatory document for codification and recast. It is a special act that officialize consolidation with or without modification, substantive modification. Voilà, I think that I present all the work that is done in the context of AKN4EU. I don't know if you have some question.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Very clear presentation. And thanks also to the group of AKN4EU. This is amazing work of harmonization and greater thought concerning the best practice of the guidelines. So we are looking forward to seeing the conversion of EURLEX in Accomatoso for the open data, because we totally need, especially now in the COVID post-pandemic period, this material for the recovery plan for lead the companies and the citizens. So when the question is, when, in your opinion, it is possible to have this material open in open data, more or less?
I cannot, I'm not a member of the publication office, so I cannot provide a date, but it's clear that in current of the next year, the institution needs to have these tools, so it's clear that it needs to be finalized in the current of next year. For the validation, we are currently in the test phase, so we are testing this with a concrete example that is provided by the Council, for example, in the context of their own development. So they provide us the test document, and we respond to explain if it's correct or not and what needs to be changed.